Bill, I want to get your take on the Biden administration now weighing, now this is a court settlement, $450,000 a person compensation to migrant families that were separated by Trump. Now, you'll notice they didn't have that lawsuit when they were separated by Barack Obama, or they're being separated now by Joe Biden. This is for the lawsuits that were brought up against Trump's administration. He wants to settle the case at $450,000 a person, which means the families could get $1 million each. My daughter was separated from me, so you each get $1 million. This would make them, they would get more money from the federal government than the 9/11 victim families did. I don't think that, and I know they're saying, well, it might cost more if it goes to court. You fight this thing all the way to the Supreme Court. How dare Americans have to pay for people who tried to break into our house? They come here, they're separated. I didn't send their kids across the border. What the hell are you talking about? I now have to pay you $500,000? Go to hell or back to your country.
Okay, so this shows the utter contempt that Joe Biden has for the taxpayer.
Yeah.
So I work hard, Beck work hard, Stu not so hard. But we pay our taxes to a government in order for the government to protect us, to help people in need, and to provide a security across the board that the country operates effectively. That's why we pay taxes. That is the bargain. That is the deal between elected officials and the people. Okay? So Biden, he throws that all out the window because he has contempt for the people. And this is an interesting thing that very few people have raised. So he looks like such a nice guy out there. Okay? And here's the deal. I mean, I'm a guy. I'm Joe. I had a regular guy. Joe Biden, and I've now analyzed him very intensely for 10 months, he despises me, you, if you don't agree with him.
Yes, they all do.
But for him, it's more personal than even Barack Obama. And for him, Obama was very personal. So Biden is basically caving into the ACLU, who launched a bunch of political lawsuits against the Trump administration for this. Now, this would not even be close in a court of law. The ACLU would lose on every turn. Why? Because the federal government had no idea who these people were. Mm-hmm. So they were marching across the border. Many of them had no identification. They said, okay, well, little Jose is my son. Well, that's what the cartels tell people to say. But the U.S. government, the Border Patrol, they don't know if Jose is this guy's son. They don't know. So they had to segregate the adult to find out who the deuce that person was. And little Jose went into the child area. So this was because cartels were telling people you can get into the United States if you tell the U.S. authorities that these children are your children or whatever, even if they're not. And in many, many cases, thousands of cases, they weren't. They were being brought in by total strangers sometimes. That was the con. That was what the cartels were doing. Here's the strategy. That strategy has changed now to asylum. Now you march up, I need asylum, 5 guys on my block are trying to kill me. So thank you, send me somewhere in the USA and I'll live here forever. Okay, so when you understand how the families were divided, that they were divided so that the U.S. government could find out who they actually were, then the lawsuit falls apart. Biden doesn't care about any of that. Okay? He just wants to take tax money, tax dollars, and the government got a record amount this fiscal year of tax dollars. Never gotten more, even in the pandemic. Never gotten more. And he'll just give the people money so that the progressives will say, Joe Biden's the greatest. Look at Joe Biden.
Is there ever a time that anyone says we might be overplaying our hand? I'm telling you, if they
on the left, you mean?
If they give these families $500,000,
it's going to be tremendous.
It is. I mean, I saw that yesterday, and I almost had hysterical blindness. I mean, I almost went blind.
To block that, there will be lawsuits on the right launched to block it. Okay,
there
so
damn well better be.
Yeah, there will be. But it is. You asked in the beginning of our very astute conversation when I came on the Glenn Beck program in the first 2 or 3 minutes. You asked, is the culture changing? Is this changing? Is the backlash against the woke, the progressives, is that coming? And this will just be another part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of a sane American who works very hard and loses 35-40% of his or her income in taxes is going to support this? Who's going to support this? People who don't pay taxes.
Yep.
That's who will support it. But no hardworking person could possibly support this kind of insanity. And as you rightly pointed out, Obama separated far more families than Trump did.
Yeah.
Okay? And Obama deported a record amount, arrested and deported a record amount of undocumented people in 2011.